Hello friends, this is Coldrun. Welcome back to Final Fantasy Record Keeper, where we are here about to start the final... yeah. I'm not alone here, but my cat is leaving. He doesn't want me doing Record Keeper. He wants me to move on to the next game. Where we're going to start the end. This is going to be the... I assume it's going to be the final... No, you know what? Screw it. This is going to be the final video. Even if it's long, I don't know how long this final thing is going to be, but it looks like it's a similar length. I just assume that some of the final dungeons will be longer. But anyway, we're going to start the sixth and final island of Volume 2 of the Record Keeper Record Dungeons. An Uncertain Future. So we got 3, 10... Ooh, long 10. We got job crystals, and then 6. They're not even finishing with the job crystal. The job crystals, this is the one that's like, it has all the, it's the category they put all the like archetypes into, like they put like the ranger into there and the, just like the magus and the black mage and stuff like that, as well as the likes of, Dr. Mog and Alara and stuff. So that's really interesting. All right, we'll start with 3. We're finally ready to revive Uller and Jord. Using the dampening canvas? Yes. Yep, along with this. There were 2 dampening canvases. Canvi, right? One the Shadowsmith prepared, and another Sid and I crafted, Koopa. But the one that Dr. Mog and Sid crafted kind of sucked, right? It's like, okay, but it's not great. He likely brought one to this world. It seems designed to mimic certain chronosphere powers. What's this chronosphere anyway? Like the memory crystals, it was created by the gods. Memory crystals record the memories of all things. The chronosphere gathers and amplifies the power of those memories. It's just like a mobile game to add currencies, to add 2 more currencies than they probably need even into the story. So there's the record crystals, and then the chronosphere is like an amplifier of the record crystals. Okay. Watch. The magicite's glowing. Welcome back, friend. Uller is the male, right? Jord is female? We've been... No need to explain. We saw some from within the magicite. Oh, good. That saves time. But wait, there's something we need to know. Who the F are you? Why'd you join why'd the special director join forces with some evil god? Gwah. Soon. You found a door? Gwah. Hey, I wasn't done talking. Yep, Soon's gonna steal your thunder no matter what. She's just cuter than you. Not by much. You're pretty cute, Biggs, but, Soon is better. Perhaps it's for the best. The record realms await. You're awfully calm about this. Interesting. A picture is worth 1,000 words, as they say. Uller seems... Who are you? Yeah, Jord and Uller don't seem happy to see Naming Way. So you're aware of me now that you've been revived? But if you still don't know who I am, then the fate he chose was a cruel one. The fate he chose, the Shadowsmith presumably chose, was a cruel one if Jord and Uller don't know who Naming Way is. And so there's something cruel about Uller and Jord not knowing Naming Way. So it would be kinder if they knew Naming Way. So are they Naming Way's parents? Are they from the same Warren? Could your power be what we once sought? You believe he scoured the ruins to find me and the wisdom I hold? I'm not sure I understand, Kupo. Fair enough, me too. Me neither, I should say. What are you saying, Naming Way? What indeed? There is no time to dwell on it. The door's magic grows stronger as we speak. We should go, Tyro. We can't just abandon the door. No, you're right. But it's risky to leave Uller and Yord alone. I don't think so. I think they are going to be... I don't think they're going to go back to the Shadowsmith. I think they were helping the Shadowsmith against the Fell God. And so I don't think they would join up with Shadowsmith again. But I think it's fair to be cautious still. Let's stay behind and let Tyro and Alara deal with the Record Realm, Dr. Mog. We don't want these two running amok. We should watch over that. That's actually fair. I don't think they're going to give you a problem, but it's probably safe. Very well, Kupo. Can you handle it, Tyro and Alara? Of course. Let's go, Alara. Okay. And so the end game begins. All is as the memory crystals portend. All is as the memory crystals portend. I mean, I don't know that they'll go this route, but I wouldn't be surprised exactly if they go in like a super meta route, like if we're in a big memory crystal of Record Keeper. And like if Shadowsmith is from somewhere higher on that tier and is visiting us as a Record Realm, something like that. I don't think, if I were putting money on it, I wouldn't put money on that being the case, but I think it's higher than like a 20% chance. I think it's about like a 20% chance to make a number up. What is this place? Is that a dwarf? The Dwarven Hollows? Yeah. And that relic? Oh yeah, okay. So we're in the Dwarven Hollows. Gotcha. Look at that cool effect. It's a small thing, but the fact that it's not just a static fire blasting out of the salamander's mouth, that it's like a pulsing breath of fire, is just a very, very nice touch for this fight. I hate having time to kill like this. I wonder how Dr. Mog and the others are doing. Hopefully we made the right choice coming to the Record Realms. I mean, you probably did. Like, you don't want to be on... It's sort of like the choice of, do you kill the ads or do you go for the boss? Because if you kill the boss, then yeah, great, you did the thing. But there's always the chance if you leave the ads alone that their damage will pile up and make killing the boss harder. And so, yeah, I think it's fair in this case. Like, you didn't want to be about to win and then there was a memory burst because you didn't uncorrupt the thing. The Fell God should show up at any time. That's also true. The bigger boss could come. I think we made the right call. You do? Remember how the rabbit said that a picture is worth 1,000 words? Uller and Yord want to show us something. I believe we may find it here. I guess they did encourage us to go here, didn't they? Memory they want us to see? A memory of Final Fantasy III they want us to see? Oh, that's right. This is where we, yeah, this is the before the leading up to the Hein fight where we have to use the Scholar for the one and only time in FF3. I'm surprised because FF3 doesn't have, like, the most nuanced characters or plot or anything like that. So why would they want us to see something here? It looks like we jumped again. Yeah. It's as if we're being rushed through to the point we're meant to see. Yeah, it is. So we just got rushed through to the... We're just landing... Oh, not really rushed that far. We've been rushed farther along. I'm thinking of the Final Fantasy IV, one of those records. We got really rushed ahead with like one of the Kain things where we jumped just to follow Kain's story, if I'm remembering correctly. That was a while ago. But I'm not sure what we're being rushed to see. Is it the World of Darkness stuff about how sometimes you need darkness to balance the light, that sort of thing? So we're seeing Arya, who I know I don't remember well. Like, I wouldn't have remembered her if I hadn't been playing Record Keeper outside of this. Like, I know that she's a healer and she has some pretty good anti-fire abilities, but like, I don't remember her role in the story. Tyro? Why is this being highlighted here? Darkness has covered the land, and darkness has stopped our time. Miss Aria tried to stop it, but oh, Miss Aria. Gone all pale, Tyro. Is something about to happen? Yeah, but I don't remember what. I wonder if Uller and Jord knew the door led to this record. Or was it the will of the memory crystals that we witnessed this tale? Huh? Sorry, don't mind me. We should get going. You should share with her these spoilers. Like, this is an area where you don't want your partner to go in unspoiled. You want her to be prepared. Okay, like you can, with, maybe not with Biggs, but, or Wedge, but I think you can trust Alara to not spill the beans to the denizens of the record dungeons. Here we go again. Tyro? Yeah, Tyro's freaking out. I don't quite get what he's seeing. Look out! Oh, shit. She just got sniped. Aria, no! It seems luck is on your side today, warriors of the light. I am Kraken, taxed by Lord Zandy to steal the light from the Crystal of Water, and you are about to die. We were not about to die. Aria. Yeah, Tyro's got to be looking at this as an analogy for what he fears is going to happen to Alara. The crystal has regained its true light. Thank you. You must take this, the power of water. Aria, be strong. You can't leave us. If you die right now, that means you're a wuss. You're just weak. Let me heal you. Yeah, there you go. No, it's too late for me. You must go. Promise me. Promise me you will banish the darkness and restore peace to the world. During that time, Alara could have been casting Cure, I'm just saying. Aria, Aria! Yeah. Yep. It's like, it's almost like a form of PTSD, like a pre-traumatic stress disorder. Like, he sees something traumatic coming and he's getting, like, it's setting him off, like, knowing it's on its way. So they survived the earthquake, or what? Huh? The earthquake did no damage. Lunith and the others are gone. Ah, Uller and Jord. I took the liberty of intervening. You showed us that record on purpose? Huh? Yeah, Alara doesn't quite get the significance, just as I'm sort of missing it. Unless it was just to show Aria's death? Was that the main purpose of it? What if I did? That makes no sense. I already know the despair the Shadowsmith faced. There's no reason to put us through that. Why show you that which you turn you eyes from? To make you all understand, of course, that we needed to hire a proofreader. Understand what? He's got to be so frustrated right now. I heard all that. Who's this? Ah, the gang. Tell us, Tyro, what changed the special director? What drove him to despair? Yeah, just share this. Alara is not better off not knowing. Don't be that guy. What are you doing here? We came after Uller and Jord, Kupo. What were you discussing, Kupo? Uller, Jord, answer me. Everyone seems to be here. Let us begin. Just what are you planning, Kupo? Enough words. See for yourself. No. They're going to share the vision of Alara's death with the others. Stop. And I get his instinctiveness, his instinct to hide it from her, but don't. Let's take a break here, Alara. This is the vision, only with with at least some context, I'm guessing. Sure. I hope everyone's okay. They'll be fine. Uller and Yord are with them. I'm sorry, Alara. Oh no, this is not the vision. This is afterwards. So they showed the vision, and this is them taking a break after seeing it. I left all the fighting to Uller, Yord, and the volunteers. No, this is later. This is the vision. I can't protect you. I'm useless. Pyro. Only I were stronger. If only I had the power of a fell god. That's a cool effect. I like that a lot. Let me scout out ahead. That almost like they're fast-forwarding the video. Okay. Watch out. Of course, she takes the bullet. She pulls Anna to his Edward. Who fired it? Was it Shadowsmith / Fell God? Is this a big big time loop? Alara? Alara! Pyro. Alara, hold still. I'll cast Cure. Take. Alara? His mind is not that good. His mind stat is not that good. The power... Don't try to speak. I'm sure. Alara! 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 I mean, this is the kind of power we see from the Fell God, emanating off of Shadowsmith. And I don't see a Shadowsmith underneath that. Only the girl succumbed. No matter, you'll join her soon. You'll die cursing your own frailty. Anger awakened Tyro's true power. Surge of strength caused by the loss of your friend? That's like some timey-wimey stuff. That's the clocky sound. He's gone. You are a thorn in my side, Record Keeper. Who? Me? And don't get me wrong, this is going to be awful for her, but seeing this vision is awful for her, but it's better to know it, right? No, Alara. Is that the Shadowsmith's past, Kupo? Alara, he wanted to help her, no matter the cost or consequence. Well, why team up with her murderer? But her fate had already been sealed. We knew the Fell God sought to claim your lives. But the girl could not be saved, no matter how many thousands of attempts he made. Yeah, big Year of Hell vibes for any Voyager fans. That is the root of his despair. Thousands. Oh no. The storm of oblivion strikes. The boy is taken in by the Royal Archives. Was that the storm of oblivion? Like is the storm of oblivion part of that Fell God chaotic purple energy thing? And the girl wakes in the Hall of Magicite. Aha! So she wasn't created by the Hall of Magicite necessarily? What's weird is it's a time loop that I don't see where the loop starts. I don't see where... I see it's a loop, but I don't see where the person was put into the loop to begin with. So she was initially in the Hall of Magicite, like, locked there until we found her in the past. I guess she was put in there in the past, but I don't know. When was she born? The records are beginning to fail. Records begin to fail. The corrupted paintings are discovered, and the minions of chaos appear. Not always in the same order, but the events remain the same. And next, the girl's passing. No, that can't be right. Are Yord and Uller like Biggs and Wedge, just like with the passing of time? Probably not. I'm afraid it's true. Have you ever had the feeling you know what lies ahead? As if the future is laid bare for you to see. That's only natural. Your world follows a path that aligns closely with this place, with the record realms, I'm guessing. And that means... You understand, right? I do not. I do not understand. I mean, and that means you can use the patterns here, like that you're seeing and playing through to get a sense of what's to come, I guess, but is that what they mean? There you are. What happened? Kupo. Well said, Dr. Mog. Poignantly said, really. I heard the Shadowsmith's world had been destroyed, but all this, I had no idea. Can someone get caught up in a time loop? I've never seen it happen, but it's possible. So the Shadowsmith tried to save her over and over, failing each time. I can't imagine. There's no time for this. As I said, your world is headed down a similar path. We chose this world from a multitude of universes because it resembles ours. Just as you know how the epic tales end, we know the end of this world. Yeah, so they are seeing this as if it's a record realm, even if this isn't a record realm specifically. What are we supposed to do? The Shadowsmith couldn't change his things, right? In the home stretch, you're this many errors. It's not that many, but it's enough to annoy me. Can we make a difference? A parallel world? Could it really be true? Namingway didn't know? The Shadowsmith sought to alter a fate written in stone. Yes. Hold on, Kupo. Why this world, then? We can't... Oh, but you can. With an intact chronosphere, that is. So that's the way to bust out of the time loop. Was that the thing that was above his head? An intact chronosphere? Got a bunch of 10 stuff. Oh, we got a lot of 10 stuff coming up. An intact chronosphere, Kupo. A chronosphere? Like that shard the Shadowsmith dropped? That's from his world, an incomplete piece without the necessary power. We came to this world to obtain a complete chronosphere. Is it from this world? You came to this world or this timeline? I don't know if your world is similar to ours. Such a thing does not exist here yet. If the Fell God continues to destroy ruins, a chronosphere will appear soon enough. Destroying ruins causes a chronosphere to appear? Or like one's hidden in the ruins, maybe. However, Lara will perish before that happens. The minions of chaos could attack at any time. And what do we do? We've been through so much already. Whenever we had doubts, we looked to the heroes for guidance. Isn't that right, Namingway? Indeed. What is Namingway saying, Kupo? She's ripping on you. She's insulting you. I don't understand most of it, but it sounds like we're headed into the record realms. There'll be more battles to fight. Doesn't that worry you, Alara? I mean, like, she's supposed to die, like, yes, but I've seen the Final Destination movies, or I haven't seen them, actually. I know of them, and I know the premise that... And any of these things, like if you're marked for death and you just hide away, you'll get a heart attack or a rock will fall on you from nowhere. Like, you can't hide that way. It makes no difference if she stays or goes. So it changes nothing. Thanks for your concern, Biggs and Wedge. I'll be okay. Uller, Jord, can you lead us to the door? Are you sure you can trust us? I know your feelings towards my counterpart in the other world are genuine. Yeah, so the counterpart in the other world, so that they mean like another timeline, I think. Besides, you want to help the Shadowsmith too. The parallels are almost too uncanny. This way. Biggs, Wedge, I want you to guard Alara, Kupo. Got it. She's in good hands. Pyro. It's okay, no need to rush. I'll wait for you in the Record Realms. Really? You're gonna go on ahead? She's gone, Kupo. That seems like a bad idea. Won't you get tossed to different areas, maybe, or time parts? Are you going to be alright, Tyro? I'm scared. I'm scared, Tyro. Is this the Shadowsmith voice? But Alara? Want to stay with you and the others, Tyro. No, that's Alara, okay. How is she able to telepathically communicate now? Dr. Mog, you know what you have to do now, Tyro. Stay by Alara's side. Exactly, Kupo. That was strange. Was that? That must have been Alara's voice, or Alara's thoughts. Yeah, look at those faces. That's an appropriate look. What's happening? I don't know. So Titus just learned about that Yuna will have to die and is determined to fight it anyway, to try to protect her anyway. I see why they put this part in here in the story. Yeah? We'll make sure Alara gets through this in one piece, Kupo. I mean, hopefully. We still don't know how... I guess we know she dies from the purple smoke hitting her, but I don't know how we're going to stop it. I'm sure we will, I just don't know how yet. Yeah! I wish I was as brave as you, Titus. Brave's not the right word. I do what has to be done. You have to follow your heart. Succeed or fail, you have to follow, Kupo. Exactly. I knew you'd get it. Where's Alara, by the way? Yeah, speaking of that, we got separated, but she'll be here soon, Kupo. Yeah, Titus is... He's got his flaws, but he's a good example for Tyro to look to right now. Tyro. I'm sorry, Alara. I should have been there for you when you needed me. I know there are more important things to do than worry about the future. Tyro. I won't make that mistake again. I'll keep you safe, Alara. I mean, I hope so, but that seems almost hubristic, but I guess that's part of the point, is that it's okay to sometimes be hubristic for this. I won't let you die. I'll play God. That's the spirit. Good to see that old fire in you, Tyro. Kupo, you did well protecting Alara amidst all that mayhem, Biggs and Wedge. Shouldn't you also praise Alara for being, I don't know, alive and kicking ass? We're just doing our part. We want to keep Alara safe, too. Uller and Jord said our world was like the Shadowsmiths, right? We just lost the trial to the ghost rulers of Bavel. Does that mean a version of me from a parallel universe came to Shadowsmith's world, too? I guess it has to. Probably. Not has to, but probably. Huh? If not, then no matter how close they seem, I don't think our worlds are alike at all. Maybe they're not the same, but they're pretty alike. Naming ways words also bother me. Which words? They've said a lot of words. Be sure to stick close to you, Nowaka. So we just defeated one of Seymour's many forms. The one with mortar body sticking out of his right nipple. And so it looks like we're going to get a little moment to ourselves, or with Shadowsmith, maybe? That flashes as a yes, or with Uller and Yord. You've been watching us the whole time, haven't you? Of course, we've been testing you. You who resist the fell gods seek our power. We are tasked with granting it to those who overcome the trial of summons. But this power is given only to those with strength and purpose. Okay, but we already beat you, so maybe this is a different trial from that, though. Why do you seek power? Well, to protect Dolara, I won't let anything happen to her. Let us see if you prove worthy. Twin fight? Show us your mettle. Or metal. We'll show them. Yeah, twin fight. Okay. What do we have? What should we know about this going in? No resistances. Yord uses abilities that buff all targets are defeated first. Alright, so we're going for Yord first. Which is Yord again? Yord is the blue one. Or the white-blue one. Alright, we will... Tyro's magic kind of sucks, so we'll just use him for the support stuff. Protect. Grand Charge. Power Chain. I keep forgetting to check how long Power Chain's buffs last, but we'll Power Chain to start. And it's a cool graphic, so I'm fine with using it anyway. Skyfall Ordnance is kind of a big ol' attack, isn't it? Luckily, we have Magicka PS to heal up from that. Oh, Wedge goes down. Yeah, not much I could do there. Healed as much as I could, and yeah, just happened. So, yeah, nothing I could have done there. Grand Charge again, and we'll just keep on going. Planet Splitter. Okay, let's not find out what effects that has on top of being called Planet Splitter. Yeah. I'm impressed you outmatched us despite your renewed power. You brought us back to separate your master from the Fell God. I hope the Fell God gets a name eventually. But the fate of the world has already been decided. Freeing him will not change this. Tell us one thing. Did another version of me come to your world too? No. No? Okay. But we got a difference here. I see. What does this tell you? That we need the Shadowsmith. Did another version of him I'll be honest, a lot of this is going over my head about, like, did a version of me come to your world? No, now then we need the other version of me, and then we can sync up and have all our versions. I don't quite see where they're going with this, so I'll roll with it. Just as Spira needed Jekt and Tidus. Our world needs the Shadowsmith. It may resemble your world and follow a similar course, but this changed when the Shadowsmith arrived. So their world didn't have a Shadowsmith. Right, now I see. So they're saying that their world didn't have a Shadowsmith on it working to help it and working to save it. They just had Tyro on his initial path, never having seen his future self, just going down that road. I think that's what they're saying. Our future isn't set in stone yet. You really believe that he can change fate? Fate has nothing to do with it. It doesn't matter whether saving Alara is within our power. We'll will it into reality. Alara won't die on my watch. Tyro. How many times has she said the word Tyro and nothing else? It feels like it's a lot. Ah, I remember that steely look in your eyes. He'll recover the child. No doubt. Yeah, we got their power. Yeah, eat those up. Those weird flavored Skittles are ours. Go team. And we're out. We're back. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. Don't lower your guard just yet, Kupo. He could return at any time. Or he could already be here. Yeah. Show yourself. Return the Shadowsmith to us. You tell him, Wedge. If you want him back, come and get him. Best hurry or you might be too late. I am really curious what this next section's going to be, because I know it's those job crystals instead of an actual, like, you know, Final Fantasy 1 or 2 or 7 or whatever. Kupo, he swallowed her. Who did he swallow? Alara, I guess he swallowed? This is what I was looking for. This is what I wanted. Into the Record Dimension Part 1. And I could do this, but I'm also not going to right now. I'll do it later, maybe? If then, I don't know. Record Dimension Part 1. Here we go. Gwen. Soon you have to save the day. Don't get too close to that hole, soon. Gwen. The hole's getting bigger. At this rate, the whole island will be swallowed up. And it might even keep growing after that. Tyro, Dr. Mog, good luck. So we're in the record realms. So that's a big old chronosphere. Is this like the Shadowsmith, the world, the timeline the Shadowsmith came from? Whoa. Oh. Are you all right, Kupo? Hey, it felt like we were falling for ages. Where are we anyway? What is this place? I don't like it one little bit. I have a bad feeling. I can't tell that this isn't our world, but it isn't a record realm either, Kupo. A record dimension, then? Okay. I'm sure. This dimension seems to be formed from the fell god's magic and the power of the epic tales, mixed with the Shadowsmith's despair, Kupo. That's a really specific answer of what this world you just fell into might be. A window into the Shadowsmith's mind. Interesting. Huh? Unease, indignation, despair. It's all too familiar. This is a reflection of his heart. The Shadowsmith's heart makes for a bleak landscape. Chin up, Wedge. We're gonna save him, right? Yeah, that's right, Biggs. Let's hurry up and find him then. So, like, just a buried wasteland of paintings of probably the things that most impacted him. This is so cool. That's another painting, right? It looks ready to crumble to pieces. It seems like the Shadowsmith gave up on even the heroes and their tales. The decayed paintings say it all. Super twist plotline. It turned out that the Shadowsmith played all the bravest and just gave up all hope for the series. What's this? Excuse me. So this is, yeah, this is the meeting we witnessed between Flower Girl and Cloud. I remember it. That was a memory of the first time Cloud and Aerith met. But Tyro and Alara were there too. Yeah? We relived this memory before, right? It was like it was happening right in front of us. Yeah, it felt so real. Of course, Kupo, this dimension must transcend time and space. Sure. Right on the money. Who's this? Is this the Shadowsmith? Or is this... No, this is the Fell God. And your reward is a one-way ticket to oblivion. I jest. The Fell God. How rude to address me that way. I am the Lich. The Lich, okay. I preside over chaos and oblivion. Looks like a grumpy pants. Or at least I used to. Poor baby. Up to your usual antics in the guise of the special director. Are you aware that I can intervene in any of the story records from here? Now stop wasting my time and get over here. I'll make this worth my while. Is the Fell God just bored? They seem kind of bored. We can't let him run amok here. We better hurry, Kupo. Okay, because if he wanted to do that, he could just do it. I'm getting, like, Flowey vibes. Like, spoilers for Undertale, I guess, but I'm getting Flowey vibes because it feels like someone who has all this power but just wants to spend time with someone they care about a little bit, rather than do stuff that they know what doesn't really matter. Wedge, be ready if things go south. Yup, we'll have Tyro and Alara's back. All right. Can you hear us, Tyro? I'll bet these are like the souls of like Cloud and Cecil and Kate Sith and like all the heroes, and Hildebrand's probably in there, all the legends. Keep it down, we're communicating telepathically. Oh, that's Uller and Yord. Never mind, I thought that was the record people. Uller, Yord. Create an opening for us. We just need a moment. We'll focus our efforts on freeing the Master when you do. Again, the whole freeing the Master thing makes me think that they're versions of Biggs and Wedge. Like with the way they look up to the Shadowsmith and the way Biggs and Wedge look up to the Special Director, but the genders throw me off, because that kind of nixes it, because Biggs and Wedge are two male characters, and Yord is female. I mean, there could be... If there ends up being like a Wedge turns out to be trans and comes out later in the timeline plotline, I'm all for it. I don't think they're going there. Don't be too obvious. If he catches on, all will be for naught. Okay. Pretty good music. Nice little building organ. The record dimension. Yeah, so that's just a big old chronosphere, right? The thing in the middle of this place. The crystal shards. The power to protect the world, the power of the wind crystal. Yeah, so this is early when they're joining, when they're deciding to team up, I think, right? Yeah. That's very early in the game. We got the another fantastic found family here with Terra. With World of Ruin Terra especially. Dwayne and Katarine. The heroes never stopped fighting to help people. And they rarely did it alone. And even the times they thought they were doing it alone, they always changed tack pretty quickly. Like specifically, I'm thinking of the You're Not Alone section from Final Fantasy IX. Okay. Pop, pop, pop? Yes. Leon, or Dark Knight. Yeah. So, yeah, stopping Leon. Is this going to be Kane next? Some other betrayer? No. Lightning, what about your focus? This was the falling out with Snow. So not necessarily a betrayal, but yeah, definitely involving splits. Internal fracturing and the like. That's my promise for Sarah. Great job so far. Ah, Lightning's so acerbic and great. That's not like her being great. That's not her being like kind, but that's her being a good character. I like her very much. We're determined enough. We can overcome anything. That was your message from that? I guess. I mean, that was what you took away from the Leon thing? A weird takeaway. I guess if you're sympathizing especially hard with Snow in the 13 section of like a game of Fall Guys that he has to play. If you're especially sympathizing with Snow in the 13 section, like maybe that's your takeaway from that painting. And then, oh, right, and then Irvine freezing up. And squalls. Really, one of my favorite squall moments, and there's a lot of them, but this moment he has here. I don't care if you miss. Whatever happens, just leave the rest to us, where he's just like, just think of it like, yeah, just think of it as a signal, a sign for us to make our move. That was such a great teaching moment. And it just sticks with me very well. He's meeting Irvine right on his level and encouraging him to be the best possible Irvine he could be in that moment. Fran will be joining us, and this is in 12 when the whole gang is coming together. Really for the first time, I think, that they're all coming together with a shared purpose. And Dagger and Zidane. Dagger remembering her mother. Her biological mother. I'm not alone. I have friends that mean the world to me. Yeah. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Let's go, Tyro. We have to protect the Shadowsmith and keep the record safe. It's something I especially love about these games, and I know the whole power of friendship is cheesy and all, but like, it makes me appreciate what I have, the friends I do have in my life, the friends and supports I have, and it makes me want to grow that circle. Because as nice as it is to see Celeste and Locke, and to see Terra and Katarine and the whole group, and Mag and Umaru, and all these different kinds of friendships and relationships, it makes me appreciate what I have in the real world as well. Yeah! Glad you feel the same way, Tyro. Thank you. Thank you for the validation. Jump. No more paintings in the way. Because this feels very final bossy, but it can't be, because this is the first of like 6 different... I don't remember, 5 or 6 different record realm sections of this part of the game. Lich. 2 seconds? Huh? If you had kept me waiting another 2 seconds, I was going to lay waste to this record. I'm almost disappointed. Enough nonsense. Let the special director go right now. What's this? Excuse me, sneeze. What's this? You think you actually have a chance, don't you? Yeah, Lich feels very Ascian. Let's have some fun then. Like, Fandaniel style Ascian. Gah! Oh no. Such tremendous power, Kupo. The power of neutrality. Don't turn away. Hyro's right. We have to save the Shadowsmith. We have to shave the Shadowsmith. Get your razors. Tyro, Alara. You don't have to tell me. We're here to protect the Special Director. Right, Biggs? Ha. Can't believe you remembered that, Wedge. What? Why wouldn't he? Okay. Of course, the Royal Arcanium's reputation depends on us taking down the Fell God. The Royal Archives has no intention of backing down either, Kupo. This feels like a final boss fight, but it can't be. We won't rest until you're defeated, Lich. You humans are so naive. You think something as amorphous as pride will help you take on a god? You better at least make this interesting. Here goes. Okay, we're fighting the Shadowsmith god. The Fell god, really. It's not the Shadowsmith at all. I don't know why he's called the Shadowsmith. Like, why even when he was Special Director, what he was... I don't know, like, what shadows he was shaping when he was not a Fell god. Alright, Haste Ga, Magic Breakdown... No, I didn't mean to do that. They keep switching up Grand Charge and Gigant Charge on the left and right there. They keep going different circles. Oh, well. Lost a couple damage, but that's okay. Yeah, now we'll just pump mages him as much as possible and Meltdown. Dash and Slash. I'm going to do Ultra Cure here. And I'm just going to Ultra Cure the whole time if I can. So Grand Charge down to 4. Sacred Mist. That hurts. Sacred Mist did a lot of damage. There's no doubt there. Do I have a cure? A Royal Sentinel, sure. Should I have done that or heal? Probably I should have probably healed. That was a mistake. That might be the death of me. Yeah, I am in what is fondly known as deep trouble. Hopefully we can get a Magicka PS off at some point. Keeper's Tome, sure. Now we'll Gigant Swing. Who defended? Alright, we're throwing feathers at his face. Magicka Coat. Perfect. I think perfect? I don't remember what it does, but it's probably something good. That's my guess, at least. We'll put up a Despair and a Retro... and a... Let's keep healing for now until we see what Magicka Coat does. I think it's going to heal us, but I wanted to be sure. It is. Good. Good, good, good. Fomented Magic, I think, is likely to be an AoE heal, so that sounds fine. Book of Retribution to get the second debuff up, and Royal Sentinel to get our... to refresh our buff, because I have no idea if it's on or off, because the game doesn't tell me. Grand Charge. Nice job, Wedge. No, we'll leave that up for now. We'll Magic Breakdown again, because, again, I don't know when that goes away. Let's do another Mage's Hymn. And just keep going on Book of Despair. One more Grand Charge. Because that'll give us our second heavy charge. And let's just Ultra Cure, I'm fine with that. Elbow Blow, excellent. Let's see what Pulchra Magicka does. I think it's just a single target heal, most likely. Now another Gigant Swing. Another Trickster. Mark of Darkness I am not worried about. Yeah, once we survive that AoE thing, we're really in the clear at this point, I think. Unless there's some final trick up his sleeve. For this phase. I don't think this is the end of the Fell God. I think this is phase 1. Because this is just, like, in the Shadowsmith's body. I'd be shocked. I'd be utterly shocked if this is the end of the main fight. I don't think that's it. Or the end of the Fell God. There's no way. He's going to be like, I am stifled by this vessel of flesh. Something like that's coming. How did more mere mortals muster such strength? Get it now? When we dig deep, there's nothing we can't do. He's not answering, Kupo. Something is up. Now. Tyro, wait, Kupo. Did we get tricked? Are Uller and Yord gonna buff him up or something? Oh, for the Shadowsmith, you two. Got you. Got you. Ah! Ugh. Ugh. Whoa. It was all an act? He is a Fell God, to be fair. Are the Magicite not doing anything? So the Magicite was your ace in the hole. I was hoping you'd come up with something more clever. Kupo. You'll pay for disappointing me. Time to snuff you out. Yeah, so they're not helping him. So it wasn't... I didn't just misunderstand Uller and Yord. Wedge! Yup. Oh no, don't heroic sacrifice us. Raw! Yikes. Biggs, Wedge. Oh, We must tend to them quick. It looks bad, Koopa. I don't think we have time for combat. For field, like, first aid with the Fell God looking at us. Or the Royal Arcanium. It would be more suspenseful right now if the like every other piece of content hadn't made it look like they were going to be alive at the end of all this. Tyro, Olara, we... Biggs, Wedge, no! Pathetic. What? Humans and their obsession with love and pride, and the others of my kind so eager to crush them. Who are the others of your kind? All pathetic. What have you then, Fell God? I told you I am no longer a minion of chaos. All right, so Lich was a minion of chaos. Are we going to see like the other minions of chaos as what are their names? Marilith and Kraken and Tiamat? I don't think so, right? Maybe. I mean, maybe, I guess, but I kind of doubt it. Don't understand, Kupo. The others want to plunge all existence and memory into chaos and oblivion, including themselves. Madness, isn't it? So I joined forces with our friend here. By claiming the power of the records for myself, the other Fell Gods would pose no threat. But I was betrayed and thwarted by this fool, and after helping him come here and sharing my power, no less. You're like very human. You're like insulted almost. A brazen act for an idiot who runs around chasing his tail, unaware he cannot sever the threads of fate. Huh? Yeah, I think her main comments this game have been, huh? And Tyro. Threads of fate? The death of the one from his world he holds dear, and the incomplete chronosphere. That rhymed. Once he saw these events come to pass, even now, game, they were seared into his world's fate. What a dimwit, fumbling around without knowing the chronosphere that could alter fate was missing a piece. Who are you calling a dimwit? You may be from another dimension, but it must be so embarrassing to see the foolish end you met. What? You shut up! Oh, we got Order of the Phoenix Harry coming in now. I'll make you pay for this. Count on it. Kupo? I feel Tyro's rage and sadness, but at this rate... Oh, yeah, he's glowing red. Tyro. Step aside, Alara. I have a score to settle. Come on, then. Perhaps I'll start with the girl. He's trolling you, dude. He's basically saying you mad, bro. Don't fall for it. Lich. Tyro. Oh, she got rid of his red swirlies. Alara? Don't do this, Tyro. You'll just repeat the Shadowsmith's mistakes. I feel the warmth of Alara's words. She really cares. You care too, Pigeon. You're not alone in this, Alara. In this, Tyro, we share our burdens, right? Well, I'm tired of this. You hate me, don't you? And come and do your worst. Thank you, Alara. You made me see the light again. We're not fighting to defeat the Lich. We fight to protect those we care about. Right, Pigeon? I couldn't have said it better myself, Tyro. Our duty is to protect. What's that light? It's new music. The completed chronosphere? It's healing them, Kupo. Their injuries are fading away. Yeah. What happened? Huh? I feel good as new. So where did this because I know that the chronosphere briefly appeared when Tyro, in the image when in the vision of Alara's death. But beyond that, I don't know how it's coming into play here. Oh, they were on their last legs. It's as if their bodies returned to the state before they were wounded. Yeah, don't you see that giant chronosphere? Oh, there it is. The chronosphere. Now we can fight. Okay, good. Okay, so no tricksiness from them. Let's go, Allure. What? Tyro, Alara, the rest is up to you. Look after him for us. Oh, you just got bopped. Ah! Kind of a wailing guitar here. Uller, Yord. That black mist. Okay, we got true form of Lich here coming up. Is that the Lich? Or at least, no, it's still cloaked, so maybe this is probably a second form, not a final form, I'm guessing. Why, you little? How could you? Maybe it's a final form, but I'm still going to put money that there's a third form with the cloak off. Yeah, Lich Geist. That said, I would kind of prefer if this is the final form rather than it turning into some giant mess like the Creator or Neo X Death or one of those things. I like this. I like the smaller, more compact thing we got going on here. All right, grand charges on the left this time, just like last time. We'll do that. Power, yeah. So we'll just get rolling. I am hoping I get another AoE heal off at some point with a Soul Break. Magicka Coat, because I don't want to use Entrust for this. I'm just gonna keep going and hope that I get that off. our Historia. This is going to be a, yeah, just a Record Realm chain, I'm guessing. Quake Jai, yeah, I think we're screwed. Yep, that was my bad. I got greedy with... Oh! Never mind. The greed paid off. What I should have done was entrust some of Dr. Mog's stuff, Soul Break Gauge, to Alara, so that she could use what was presumably an AoE heal Soul Break. And I just used it on damage instead. But again, the greed worked. Oh, we did it! Whoa, that's Dr. Mog. We did it, Kupo. Where'd this power come from? Incredible. It's like we became something else. Like you became something else? Were you like infused with... Don't tell me that you were... No, you weren't replaced with those from different... With like Wedge and Biggs from a different timeline, were you? I don't think so. What's going on? Perhaps the pool of light coming from Tyro and Alara is interfering with the flow of time, Kupo? Somehow we've drawn enough strength from our future selves to take on the Lich. Ah, you're borrowing time. If only I had the Chronosphere, all would be mine for the taking. The Chronosphere's right there. Probably don't let him get it. Chronosphere. The Shadowsmith is there, separate. Yeah! No so fast. Out of the way, runts. Yeah, I was afraid it was going to turn to something. Well, actually, you know what? That is pretty cool. This is much more coherent of a design than some final boss designs. Like, again, I'm thinking of the Creator, I'm thinking of Neo X Death. It's not, or even, this might be blasphemous, but even Zeromus is not my favorite final boss design. I like Transkuja and stuff like that. Even Necrophobe, like, those, like, just more, there's more, the ones that have more of a single aesthetic going on. This is pretty cool. He's only getting stronger, Kupo. There's no end to his power. It's too much. You and I are not the same. Fear me, revere me, then die a wretched death. You are thirsty for attention, aren't you? We're not afraid of you. Tyro's light grows stronger, Kupo. Is that Cecil? We've seen heroes overcome adversity and turn their backs on ill-gotten power. Yeah, that's Cecil, definitely from that line. We'll never bow down to you. I think it's Warrior of Light. We've seen heroes take on evil in the name of justice and erase their friends from history. Silence! Wait, they're actually joining us? And we'll die no wretched death today. Grah! Are they actually joining us? I didn't notice in the party selection thing. No, they're not with us there. Are they going to be soul breaks, maybe, like roaming warriors? This is also, by the way, this I especially like this Lich model because it's a spiritual successor to the FF1 Lich. It's that same like skeletal inside with like cloudy outside. It has that same sort of aesthetic, which I dig. It hasn't done anything, which has me nervous. Oh, there we go. Death Scythe Chaos. Okay. Another meltdown, and now we'll entrust to Alara. We'll learn our lesson from last time. Gigant Swing. Yeah, so now this should be... Final Fantasy Record Keeper's fights follow almost a similar pattern to the pattern you'd see in Final Fantasy 13, where it's slow at first, and then you stagger the enemy, and then it just ramps up. It's same like this, except for building up to your soul gauges. To your soul breaks, rather. You know what? Let's do. Let's entrust to Tyro so he can get another one off after this goes. And we will do Gigant Swing. Oh, that was a mistake. Link of Light. 30. Okay, yep. It's one of those. It's a Link of... The power of Chaos Surge is getting weaker. Let's finish him off. This one's for you, Special Director. We're unstoppable as a team. It'll take more than that to beat us. So the 2 soul breaks that he has are him connecting with the Warrior of Light and with Cecil. That is cool. That is a cool way to incorporate them in the fight while keeping it at 5 players in the group. Interesting. Immune to wind. That's concerning. New boss phase music. This is going metal as heck. It's Wrath again. I don't know who we'll want to give. Maybe we'll give it to Wedge next. No, we'll give it to Tyro next. If Tyro has more access to them, I don't know if he does. No, he's not taking any damage. What's going on here? Phase 3. Deal damage greater than the damage cap to the enemy with all the power of chaos is spilling over to quell its flow. Gotcha. So that was a waste. Okay. Tyro, we need you. Yeah, this is all a waste. Okay. Well, mistakes were made, and I was the one who made them. It's basically like Rage. Wait. Tyro... No, we need to get to Tyro's second one. Dr. Mog, this is your time. And now... Here. Yeah. Okay, good. So now, Power of Chaos fades, so now we can go back. Power of Chaos. I think we might be screwed at this point. I don't think there's anything I could do to go over the damage cap right now. I think we might actually have to reset the fight. That sucks. Because I have no way to get over the damage cap right now. There's no other limit breaks I can do that will go over the damage cap. I guess I just should have read the strategy before trying the fight, because I have no options left to me. That's really frustrating. Alright, Power of Chaos has surged again, so we're getting close to it. So now, because I've saved up all of I've saved up all of my... we have a chain going. And I've saved up all of my soul break gauge on Tyro. All right, so we'll hold off on this. Yeah, we'll just have to wait for a sec. Unleash Chaos, that's fine. Yeah, that was I guess we're just building up the chain, so it doesn't hurt that bad, but still. Okay. Now we will... let's Link of Light, I guess. And we will do that. I don't know how much more he needs, so let's just give it to him. I wanted this to go off after, so we'll give it a chance. Okay. Good, good, good. Power of Chaos fades for like 2 seconds. No, how can this be happening? Okay, yeah. Nice elbow blow. Just a pro wrestling drop on the Lich. Power of Chaos surges. Okay. So now we'll use the second one. Please let this be enough. If it doesn't, I really don't know what to do. Our history, I'm not going to overwrite it, so let's hold off on that. Let's give this to you for Boulder Blow. All rides on this. We're good. We got it. Go team. Power of Chaos Frades, he has 0 hit points. What are you talking about? How did we not win already? I'm intensely confused right now. We got him below 0. What's happening? I'll auto battle for a second, hopes that this is just a time thing. We got him to 0 hit points. We got him well below 0 hit points. What's happening? Is this bugged? I have to do it a 3rd time? God fucking damn it. I have no way to do it. The fight's a loss now. It's... Oh, God. Okay, alright, let's see. I'm really frustrated right now. I'm intensely frustrated with the game right now. This Trickster might be enough, actually, to break it, because it looks like... No, but Trickster can't break it. It's 99,999 max. It can't... Wedge can't do it. Wedge cannot do this. Pyro can't do this. Is it just Biggs? Can Heavy break it? I don't even know. Baby Boulder Charge can break it? None of these are breaking it. It's I'm out of time. Because this is cute and all, but it doesn't matter because he just stays at 0%. I'm really annoyed. I'm really annoyed. I was having at least a decent chunk of fun, and it's just gone. This is not fun. All right. I've taken some time to cool down. I literally took a walk because I was really getting salty, and I apologize for that. I know it's not usually fun to watch people be frustrated and angry. So I also Googled it. I just Googled the answer because I don't care enough to figure to solve it. And yeah, apparently there are 2 keys. One is level up more. So grind is one of the answers. So I got Biggs to level 90, so hopefully that's enough. He was in, I think, like the mid-80s before, or mid-70s before, rather. So yeah, hopefully the extra, like, 15 levels, I just got him by the most fun part of the game. Doing old stuff, skipping all the dialogue, and just going AFK while my characters fight. Yeah, so I did that for a while, and my character's level 90, so hopefully that's enough. The other is... the language on Boulder Blow is apparently the key also. Temporarily increases the user's physical damage up to a very large amount, increases with each use of Boulder Blow. So apparently, Elbow Blow can break the damage cap, so you use this 3 times, and then Elbow Blow will, you know, at the end, as a follow-up to Earth abilities, will break the damage cap. That's the only thing that I can see here of these things that does break the damage cap. Like Arrow Burst, the follow-up of Trickster, does not break the damage cap. Meltdown can't break the damage cap, so it's really just It's really just the 2 soul breaks for Tyro and Biggs's elbow whatever. Elbow blow? Got it. Okay. Yep, so that was it. That was the answer. Okay. Yep, so now nothing matters except for you know what? Let me make sure I entrust you, because Tyro is the only way that we lose this fight. Or win this fight. Power Chaos Surges. Please let this be the last one. If I have to get another one, I'm going to be a salty cold run. And what a shock that would be. I'm sure that's never happened before, so... Fingers and toes crossed. Google solved the answer. Google did this. Hooray for Google. Okay. Again, Lich has a cool design. I don't like the idea of that, like, you can't win unless you do this one thing. Like, it would have been one thing if the game had prepared me for that. If the record dungeon fights leading up to this had been like, had introduced rage before now, or if they'd introduced like these sort of gimmicks where unless you do this one thing with one character's soul break, then you can't beat it. It just the fight stops, or more puzzle fights. But it just hasn't been a thing, and I'm annoyed that I wasn't prepped for it. Yeah, and I did not enjoy that. I'm fading. Does it end here? A supreme being defeated by mere rabble. No. No, 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 this can't be. You're no god or supreme being. Yeah, what makes you think you're a god? You betrayed your allies for your own selfish need. What makes you better than any of us? Yes, you betrayed the other fiends, right? Or the other chaos minions. What? Just like the Shadowsmith and me, you're desperate to defy the hand of fate. Just another little cog in the machine. I wonder if this game had kept going, if they would have explored the other minions of chaos or in future chapters, but this is a fine ending to it. Another little cog? No! Goodbye, friend. That is quite a... how do we say it? A Georgia O'Keeffe of a portal that the Lich left behind. It's over, Kupo. Ooh. Whoa. Yeah, his realm is collapsing. What's that? This world is collapsing. Now the Lich that powered it has gone, Kupo. Now that the Lich has powered it has gone. I think there's supposed to be a that before there. Can you hear me, Guardians? Is this Fuller? Naming way. Can you hear me, Guardians? There isn't much time. You can return to your world through that rift. Just dive right in. That's what the rabbit's saying. Thanks. Recover that pool of light, Kupo. It's the reason we prevailed over the Lich. Go Shadowsmith. Ah. Special Director. Oh. Goodbye. Where are you going? Hold on. What are you planning, Kupo? Is it just like a noble sacrifice? Like, are they gonna... is he gonna try to use it just to make sure no one else can get it and, like, die in here? Where could he be? I'll find him. Alara, you head back with the others. Not likely. If you're gonna help with the Special Director, we're coming too. No, I can sense his presence, so I know where to look. Leave this to me. But... I need to settle things with the Shadowsmith alone. Trust me on this. Me, myself, and I. Grrr. Biggs, Wedge, let him do this his way, Kupo. All right. We'll leave you into you then. Thanks. Promise me you'll make it back too, Tyro. Yes, he will. Did Zidane die at the end of... No, never mind. I was going to say, didn't... How did Zidane not die at the end of the game, at the end of Final Fantasy IX? I remember there was a similar situation where everything was collapsing and he got out. I just don't remember how. I promise, you look after the others. Okay. So this is the Chronosphere. Its power is almost spent. It won't last long. I have to replenish the power of the records while there's time. So he's trying to undo the harm he did. Shadowsmith. I don't know how I would react if I had to deal with my younger self. My younger, more optimistic self. What is it you plan to do? This world is connected to the record realms. By triggering a massive memory burst here, I can obtain the power of the records. Oh no, he's not. He's trying to get more power. But if you do that, your world will suffer untold damage, I imagine. That is not my concern. Uller and Jord sacrificed themselves to give me this chance. Did they? As much as I'd like to save myself, there is another I must think of first. Alara is safe in our world. You have no idea what triggering a memory burst will do here. My mind is made up. I'd cast all else aside for a chance to save those I pledged to protect. Is that what she would want? Would Alara be happy with your actions? That's pretty selfish. Yeah, there you go. That's not what Uller Jord would want. The same goes for Alara from your world. No goal can be achieved without sacrifice. Protecting what you hold dear isn't about sacrifice or compromise. The heroes of the epic tales are proof of that. Oh, holy crap! You just got like wrestling moved. Ah! Quit clinging to idealistic nonsense. What have the heroes ever done for us? I tried over and over, countless times. No hero ever came to my aid. I had to rely on myself. That's like saying the books I read are worthless because the character didn't leap out of the pages and try to save my butt from, like, when my rent was late. They help you in other ways. And laying everything on the line, it still wasn't possible. You think a little sacrifice bothers me? But let me ask you this. How do you plan to save Alara in your world? Isn't she good now? I guess not. I guess I was just assuming that the Lich killed her, but in the vision, but I guess not. This world is much like mine. She'll no doubt face the same fate as the Alara I know. Well, blinded by your ideals, you'll choose the path of failure. That's no better than abandoning her altogether. He is wrecking Tyro. I would never... So that's how it is. I really... Ugh. Yeah, Tidus's determination to not let Yuna die. Yeah, we literally just saw this. We didn't literally just see this. We saw this, like, really not long ago. Yep, again, we just saw this. I remember. Tidus told me that once. I do what has to be done. I'm not going to let Alara die. Ah. You stopped trusting others and took all the burden on yourself. That's why you gave in to despair. I learned from the heroes of the epic tales. They taught me to trust in myself and others, to never falter. They showed me how to have the strength to never give up. Don't be ridiculous. There are some things no amount of trust or strength can fix. I mean, he's got a point that it's not like we have a straight plan to save Alara, but I think it really comes down to, even if Alara dies, like, that's clearly way better, according to her and pretty much everyone else, than letting this entire world just get destroyed. Like, it's not remotely close. What would you do if you had to choose between the life of Alara or a stranger? I mean, I'd choose Alara, but if it's Alara or a million strangers, then it's not really that hard a choice. It sucks to... feels bad, but it's... yeah, there's no choice to make. What? I'll protect them both. I guess. More idealistic drivel. I'm telling you, that's not possible. You just get headbutted? I think you did. He kind of looks like the warrior from... like, the fighter from FF1 here. His hair, maybe. It is. You just have to follow your heart. You only say that because you don't know the pain of being at fate's mercy. Fate isn't ours to know. The same goes for me, Alara, and everyone else. Nobody knows the future, but we live to see a new day. I don't think Tyro's being that persuasive. Yeah, childish fancy. I think he's... it doesn't sound all that great the way he's saying it. I'd rather be a child than an adult consumed by despair. I mean, I just don't know that those are the only two options. I'm fine with what I am. Yeah, it's fine for Tyro to be there. Are they just headbutting each other over and over, or is there supposed to be... maybe that's punches. Why won't you see? There are other fell gods besides the Lich. Yeah, presumably another 3, and then Chaos. Beings that dwarf him in power will invade your world and destroy it as they did mine. No, they won't. We'll stop them. Like, he does sound naive as hell right now. Lara, Dr. Mog, Biggs, and Wedge all stand with me. Did they stand with the Shadowsmith in his world and they all died? That's what I'm curious. Yeah, as they did in my world, but it was not enough. But you didn't have anyone to help, did you? I'm confused. He had Alara to help. He was helping Alara. What? In your world, you were alone, but I have you here, too. Ah, yep. So this is... they're saying that there's an X Factor and they're each other's X Factors here. Like, now the difference is there's 2 of you. I guess. What are you saying? Join with us, Shadowsmith. Let's battle the minions of chaos together. How? I've pledged to protect Alara and the others, this world and the story records. But the same goes for you and your Alara. That's what I want to be, what I have to be, a guardian of all records. I mean, Tyro is just, he's wise beyond his years, as I've said, but, like, I get the Shadow... I don't think he's, like, destroying the Shadowsmith's argument with facts and logic. I think it's more like... It's about giving that emotional burst of, hopefully this time will be different. Maybe we have a little bit more helping us. You coming to this world is the key to altering our course. We'll defeat the minions of chaos together. I mean, hopefully. You've lost touch with reality. What you ask is impossible. It can be done, I know it, but we need your help. Yeah, this is all about just faith and hope. Have faith in yourself and in the power of friendship and the records. Those words. Trust in yourself and your friends. Lara, believe in the power of the stories you love. Enough. Stop it. Yeah, I like how it's not Tyro at this point. It's Shadowsmith. And the future will open up. Ah! I've come too far to turn back now. I have my own goal to fulfill. I'll save Alara no matter what I have to sacrifice. You're not listening! I think he just need you in the groin, Tyro. As I thought, you're just a child. All talk. I'll do anything to save Alara. You're about to kill our Alara. Anything. You sure this is what you want? That voice. Choice is yours. Is that like the spirit of Alara? Tyro, where are you, Tyro? Tyro. Do you think Tyro is... Don't say that. Knowing him, he'll be fine. Hey, what's gotten into you, Psoon? Gwan, gwan, gwan. It's Tyro. Oh, Tyro popped out here? Hey, Tyro, wake up. No Shadowsmith? He's conscious, thank goodness, Kupo. Dr. Mog, hi everyone. Tyro, no luck finding the special director. Actually, it must have been him who brought me here after I passed out. Oh, then the Shadowsmith's alive. Lara. What is it, Tyro? I'm sorry it took so long, but I reached a decision. I promise you to keep you all safe. And I won't sacrifice anything to do that. That's been his decision all this time, I think. Tyro. Dr. Mog, do you have Olarian Yord's Magicite? Of course, Kupo. I brought it from the other dimension. But it no longer radiates magic. I guess it must be spent, Kupo. I see. I'd like to try and save them in any case. Tyro, an admirable decision, Kupo. You can count on me. We do owe them for helping us. I'll lend a hand too. I hope they reveal who they actually are. Lend a hand? Get in the way more likely. Wedge. Oops, I said the quiet part out loud. Those guys never change. Gwar. What is it, Alara? Does she sense the Shadowsmith? Shadowsmith went off without saying anything. Do you think that's the last time we'll see him? Kupo. No, I think he'll be back. In Volume 3. You do? As I was slipping away, I'm sure I heard the Shadowsmith speak to me. Look at that determined Tyro art. Until next time, he said. We did it. We did the thing. How the hell are they wrapping this up by going to Final Fantasy VI, to the floating continent? Are we going to wrap this up by refuting Kefka's nihilism? Is that what we're doing? Or... No, this has got to be the World of Balance floating island based on where the last record left off, but... We'll see. Into the actual home stretch we go. Shadowsmith is back. No Volume 3 needed. So the chronosphere has vanished? Where are his glasses? You used the last of its power to return. If you traveled alone, perhaps it could have been saved. You saved Tyro. Interesting, so it was your choice. Where's that voice coming from? It seems your powers as a record keeper are coming back. You can now perceive me even if just my voice is proof of that. Who the hell is Namingway anyway? What's the meaning of this? Wait, is this the voice of the god said to be found in the ancient ruins? Answer me, how can I obtain a fully functional chronosphere? No matter how many times I try, it's always imperfect. You already have the answer to that. You crafted the chronosphere alone in your world, but what happened here? Tyro and Alara banded together. They used the power of friendship. They united to protect all they hold dear, a noble cause fraught with peril. If they had already realized their powers as record keepers, a full manifestation would be possible. Sadly, they were not quite ready. Though they were able to extract its full power, that's why it vanished. What have I been doing? I sought an intact chronosphere while attempting to destroy the only way to obtain it. But you saved the version of you from this world, and you did not spark a memory burst to use the chronosphere. Do you know why this is? I'm not sure. I think it's the power of friendship. But something Tyro said made me think. It reminded me of what she tried to tell me with her dying breath. I saw Tyro as an ignorant child, but I was wrong. I was the ignorant one, blind to Alara's wishes. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big 10-4 on that. You had it right all along, Tyro. It's a particular trope that pisses me off that comes up over and over and over of like, I will save this pure, sweet cinnamon roll that I love by destroying the world so that she can live with me, which is surely what she would want. It's either, I think that's what she'd want, and because it's always she. It's almost always a dude who's trying to do this to save a woman. It's almost like that's what she would want, and he's completely wrong, or he just doesn't care what she wants, and this is all about what he wants. What do you intend to do now? About what? In this world, you escaped your fate. Fate no longer has a hold over you. You've been through this countless times, but this is a first. Several paths stretch out before you. Which will you choose? I plan to take the path of ruin. But you were right, Shadow. That's why he's thinking, that's why we're heading into 6. Is something on your mind? No, I was just thinking back on something. It happened before I revealed the truth to Tyro on Mount Ordeals. The past. Tyro and the Shadowsmith disappear before Alara's eyes after being surrounded by mysterious light. As Tyro is reunited with Cecil, the Shadowsmith encounters another band of heroes. So he was dumped here into the other part of 6. Just ahead are Kefka, Gestal, and the Warring Triad. So Gestal's still here, so this is World of Balance. Hello, Pigeon. Look, someone's lying on the ground. Isn't that the Interceptor's master? I think it's Dog Guardian is the preferred term. Shadow? Wake up! Filthy double-crossing Empire tried to off me, but the second I had served my purpose. Shadow, we thought you were dead! Is Interceptor all right? You are a good ninja. That's the first thing you ask about, and I appreciate it. He's fine. Come on, let's go. Just leave me here. Sorry, that's not happening. Look, there's someone over there. Tyro? Ugh. I jumped through the record? Hey, you alright, Tyro? They think it's Tyro? Like, wasn't the Tyro... Well, whatever. No, I'm not worried about that, because the record realms adjust their minds to accept whatever they see. Did the Imperial scum get you, too? Are you talking to me? Hey, who else? They think I'm Tyro? This must be a glitch in the chain. Never expected to hear myself addressed that way again. Fate works in mysterious ways. You seem different, Tyro. Shadow seems to recognize something. Let's talk and wait. We'd better hurry. You're coming too, right, Tyro? Without the dampening canvas, there's no way to quell the magic after altering the record. Oh well, I don't see any quicker way to wrap this up. I'm right behind you. This is very interesting. Something wrong? Yeah, the Shadow Seas. Is the reason he's called Shadowsmith something about the reason why something related to this? I wonder. Related to his encounter with Shadow? Probably not. What happened to you? I don't understand. You seem more hardened to the world now. Just like me. That is a really interesting parallel, and it feels pretty apt, actually. Nice job, game. Well, it's because I'm not the Tyra you know. Hack. Lock? What is it? There's a tough fight ahead. Brace yourself. Ah, Ultima. Wasn't Ultima in the bathroom? So Shadow doesn't think he has the right to fight at our side. We just fought the Ultima weapon. It wasn't that bad. No right? I imagine you could say the same of me. Yeah. What does it matter anyway? Since I choose the one thing most important to me, I've been ready to turn my back on everyone and everything else. Shadow. Let's go. Yeah, I'd rather you be like Shadow than, Kefka. Well, look who's here. Yeah, so this is, yeah. The airship's below. There's no time. What do we do? Shouldn't we wait? Can't just leave Shadow. Still. What are you gonna say, Shadowsmith? Jump now or wait? Wait. You should wait for Shadow. This is like him giving himself hope. Him saying, yeah, like, don't leave him behind. He'll be here. He'll make it. Shadow. I'd never be able to rest in peace if I died without collecting my pay. And you just bounce on the airship. Except for Shadow. Why'd you wait for me? I wish I knew. There's no way to stop their magic? There is not. This was a mind screw when I first encountered it. Boy, do I remember that moment. Just a story. My actions mean nothing. Why then? Tyro, focus! This is just a story. My actions mean nothing. Why then? Question for anyone who's ever played the Final Fantasy games and enjoyed them. Had their mind changed about something. Felt empathy for someone. Felt disgust at someone. Why? That day the world was changed forever. This is it. This is the final one. And it's the Dragon's Neck Coliseum. What place is this? I must have jumped again. The Dragon's Neck Coliseum. Champions from all over the world come here to... Yeah, we know. Why are we here? No, this is where we see Shadow again, right? You bet the right thing, and... You bet the right thing, and you get, and that's how you get Shadow back in the party, right? Pyro? Good to see you fitting well. I could say the same thing of you, Celeste, and worst character in the game. What are you two doing here? Weird of a fighter dressed all in black at the Colosseum. Rumor has it he seeks the blade Ichigeki. Ah, that's the one you have to bet. Dressed all in black, huh? We had to look into it. You have Ichigeki with you? Uh-huh. It's time. Here to fight in the Colosseum? Yes. We'll stake this Ichigeki on the match. I'll be the challenger. These fights are just always the best. No Ichigeki for you. Get wrecked. What are you doing here? The only thing I know how to do. Fighting. Why don't you come with us? Perhaps I should. Yeah, there's life after whatever you went through. Alright, it's time to put my skills to the ultimate test. That can be the same for you, Shadowsmith. Tell me, what is it you seek from such a strife-filled path? No answer? He's like desperate for Shadow to have an answer. Yes, I walk a dangerous path. But the time you waited for me shows you might not be ready to do the same. The time you waited for me shows you might not be ready to do the same. Hesitation will be your downfall. This is also a horrific sentence for me because in the game Sekiro, the final boss that, if you're me and you're not that good at video games, especially that sort of game, you'll end up fighting a million friggin' times. Just says over and over. Every time he kills you, his I killed you message is, hesitation is defeat. Ugh. Hesitation. I've cast that aside. I'll find a way to sever fate's bonds this time. Even if it means clashing with my other self. If I'd known how this ends back then, how would I have taken it? This was all a memory, right? Yeah. Have you chosen your path? I was prepared to let this world burn if it meant saving Alara. Couldn't care less if the world thought me evil or if my heart turned cold. But you couldn't bring yourself to turn the world against you, and you're done walking the path of ruin. Am I right? Doesn't mean I'll choose the path you want me to. I ask nothing of you. I merely offer wisdom and guidance. And a belly to pet. And you'll guide me. If such guidance is needed. What he told you wasn't all wrong. You are needed in this world. It veers ever closer to a violent end. Yeah, that violent end is happening in like 2 days. I'm playing this on like the 27th or 26th. Can't let it be destroyed. Still have things to do here. Download the Japanese version. My coming here opened up a different path. This world may change because of my presence. I never thought I'd be the one to change fate. Trust in myself and others and never falter. Well, Tyro, let's see if those words ring true. Show me that your destiny lies with the unwritten future of this world. Tyro, where are you, Tyro? Tyro. Kind of an open ending. Like, they clearly are leaving room for the third volume that never came, but they didn't cliffhanger you the way it would have been like if it ended at volume 2. Until next time, Tyro. That was lovely. That was a pretty solid ending. Is my salt still there regarding someday in an uncertain future? Is my salt still there regarding the that particular dungeon? That final boss? Yes, it is. Do I think that I should blame myself for that? Yes. Can I also blame the game? Yes. Yeah, that's going to be it for me for Record Keeper. This was a very fun, a surprisingly fun game. Again, even on the outside of the record dungeons, it's been very fun, and I have been playing the Japanese version. How much longer? Probably not much longer. Probably until, I don't know. I'll probably keep playing it until I start Brave Exvius, which will be, I don't know. I don't want to make promises on that, but my current inclination is to play Stranger of Paradise next, and then Brave Exvius, unless other stuff comes out before then. Like if, I don't know, if Crisis Core arrives before then or something like that. Like the remaster, remake, whatever it is. But this has been a delight. Thank you so much, especially to Almaron for recommending this, for letting me know about the ticking clock too. I didn't think I'd make it. And I will see you in the next video. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in 14, Stranger of Paradise, or down the road. Bye.